My wife and I, a lot of couples fight about money. We did too. We fought about money for years and years and years. And what we have done is segment our money out into purpose-driven accounts. And we came up with this idea. It's not a new idea, but we did this with ourselves, God, maybe 15 years ago. And we've never fought about money since. We are in the middle of a bankroll build. So we've been talking about it all morning, and I want to do this series where I'm going to turn $10,000 into $100,000. And I want to do that by stress testing strategies and to some degree stress testing what I can shift at the table, but we've decided to kind of shrink that down. What I'm going to do is this. We've got $10,000 in our virtual bank account. I'm going to buy in for 10 to 15% of that every day, depending on the strategy. I'm going to bet proportionally to my bankroll or proportionally to my goal. And we're going to talk about how to bet towards your goal here in just a minute. Where my profits are going to go, while I'm building bankroll, 100% of my goal gets reinvested. So if I've got $1,000 buy-in with a 10% goal and I win $110, $100 of that dollars is going into the bankroll build. For sure, 100% of my entire win goal is going in there. Anything excess, I can make a decision on. I can put it to a little, like, let's have fun with it account that we can try some crazy things with, or I can just put the whole freaking thing in there and just jack up the bigger bank account to get to the $100,000 level. So we'll make those decisions along the way, but at this point, you can guarantee that 100% of my win goal is going back into the bank to build that sucker up. Excess monies we'll make decisions on. The strategy selection so far, again, we're going to take our top 6 to 8 so far that we've done and liked, give them about 30 days. That's the idea. And then we'll do the top 2 or 3 of those at the very end, the last 3 months, the closing home stretch. We'll use those to close it out. So to Darksider's point earlier, to what we talked about earlier, this is about whittling down the top 10 or so strategies and giving them a long runway to succeed or fail. And I think that the more we talk about it, I'm more inclined to say, let's just mechanically run these things and just give them a chance to do it or not do it. We'll see what happens. All right. So that's the plan for the bankroll build. But behind the scenes, I really want to talk to you about what it means to manage and run a big bankroll. What does a bankroll plan look like? And I think it starts out with having purpose-driven accounts. Now, a quick little sidetrack into my personal life, okay? Without giving you bank account numbers, I want to tell you how I run my life. My wife and I, a lot of couples fight about money. We did too. We fought about money for years and years and years. And what we have done is segment our money out into purpose-driven accounts. And we came up with this idea. It's not a new idea, but we did this with ourselves, God, maybe 15 years ago. And we've never fought about money since. We have an account, which is our primary account. And I know mortgage, electric, blah, 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 blah. I know what needs to be in that account every month. I know exactly, almost to the number with a little fluctuation of the electric bill, what we need to kind of make the Cocos Corporation work for a given month, not including food and everything else. So we each put half of that amount from our paychecks goes into that account. We know on the first of the month, we each put X into the account on actually the 30th of the month before. And we know that account, I can forget about it. It just, everything's on auto pay and it just goes. We never have a late payment on anything, right? Our second purpose-driven account is for groceries. And we know that we're gonna limit ourselves to, well, I think it's $800 a month now on groceries, whatever that is. We each put from our paycheck $400 into the grocery account on the 30th of the month. That's what Kathy shops with. She uses Amazon and blah, blah, blah. That's the shopping, put food on our table account. We then have we call it our joint or our fun money account. And again, we each put a percentage of our paycheck into that account. That's the account that we go out to dinner with, we go to movies with, we do Grubhub with, we do random crap with, we buy birthday presents for other people with, right? That's we never have a question. Can we afford to give so-and-so $100 for graduation? Well, what's in the fun account? Okay, let's do it. That's exactly how we run our life. It's magical. We never fight, right? Years ago, we'd have it all in one account and try and figure things out, and you'd be overdrawn. It's a freaking disaster, right? I look at my gambling life in the exact same way, right? I have a master account. I call it the 401g account. It's a kind of a play on a 401k. It's a 401g. Ken calls it the master bank account. That's gambling funds only. What goes in that account is what goes onto the table or into the machines and nothing else. That's what that account's for. Now, I have in the past used it for travel and expenses because I figured it was kind of like a business thing. Ken's got me talked out of that. So now there's a separate account called expenses, right? My expenses account, I fill from, so gambling account hopefully makes me money, right? If I pull 1,000 out, I put 1,000 back. That thing, I try and keep that thing as level as I can, right? I try to never deviate from where it is. It stays pretty stable. If I win some, it goes into the earnings account, which is my sort of, what the gambling made for me. If I have excess, I split it between an expenses account and an excess account. The excess account, for example, is what I brought to Vegas with me, right? So this time I went to Vegas, not one dime of that came from my 401g account because we had won money throughout the year, and I fed this other account with that money for the purpose of going to Vegas and farting around with it. So my expenses account and my excess account funded Vegas. I went out there without a care in the world. The year before I went out to Vegas for DiceCon and for the Craps for the Cure with my 401g money, and I was stressed out a little bit. This year, couldn't care less because I'd managed my money in my G account to the point where I was able to fund other things and pay for the trip and not worry about it, right? I think if you segment your money into accounts with purpose like this, you're going to have a much better, lower stress time when you're playing, right? Use the G account as the hammer to build everything else up. Now, Jacob from Wager Me This likes to say, don't build a bankroll, win at the casino and use your money to buy things, buy a trip, buy food, buy presents, buy whatever. It's the same concept, right? My G account, if I take $1,000 out of the 401g and go to the casino and I win $500, I put $1,000 back in the G account. I might put another $250 in there just to grow it a little bit, but that excess $250 goes into the excess account, and that's what I'm buying stupid shirts like this with. Like that's what I do, right? I just make sure that my master bankroll account is always tight and loaded and growing as I build my way through. So I think that's a very important thing. Yeah, Craftsmaster. Gordon Ramsay, that's it. Gordon Ramsay is the man. If you don't know who he is, go grab his series. He's got a DVD series and a book series. The purpose-driven accounts is the answer to the gambling money not intruding on your life. It's the answer to your gambling play and your profits and your losses being under control and having a plan with it. I think it's the most important thing of all the things I've done in my life, gambling-wise, strategies and play styles and blah, blah, blah. This right here is the thing that's clicked for me, right? And I've been doing this to some degree for 20 years. I've only had two accounts. I've had the G account and I've had a money that is my excess account. I've now split to 4. And I think it makes so much sense to do this. So if you're going to be a regular gambler, I'm not going to use the word professional. If you're going to be a regular gambler, going on the regular, manage your money in a smart way. Don't take one dime out of your family's, food account or your checking account or your family's fund money account. Set it aside. How do you build this account? All the ways, right? I do custom work. I do custom programming. I teach on Saturdays sometimes. These extra, when I bitch about, I taught all day yesterday, that's extra money. That feeds the account. That's where it comes from, right? You got to start that thing somewhere. And so all the excess that we do feeds that thing that makes your life run. So that's the first point I want to make. Now, the second thing we got to talk about is how we split that money around, okay? So in the G account, 100% of the time, my goal, it's a withdrawal and a deposit of the exact same amount. In fact, let me show you something. Hold on a second. I should have had this ready to go. But if you have played with me at a casino, you have seen me pull this out. This is my gambling wallet, right? This is my goofy looking little thing, right? In this wallet, if I open it up, is my card for the casino that I'm going to. It is a handful of my little lammers that I use in the rail, and it is my G account. There's $1. I might have $1 to get. No, it's I think it's $500. Usually it's $500, right? There's $500 that I keep in the wallet, right? This is my play money. So when I say replace your buy-in, okay, we're going to talk about your buy-in amount here in a minute, right? Replace your buy-in. What I mean by that is I go to the ATM, I make a withdrawal of $500. At the end of my session, I deposit at least $500 back plus whatever I want. The way that this thing works, I pulled $500 out of that account like 4 months ago, right? And I put it into this little thing. I went to the casino, I bought in with the $500. I have not had to go back to the bank yet. I take this $500 every single, this is the same $500 I've been using for months. Go to the table, buy in with it, cash out $590, cash out $560, cash out $620, and I put that 60, 80, whatever it is, that goes back to the bank. Never put this back in. I haven't had to. I pulled it out and I've been working the same damn money ever since, right? But if you want to do it with an ATM, fine. Replace your buy-in every single time, okay? If your win goal, and you're trying to do this on the regular, like I said, if your win goal is, let's say, 10%, let's say your win goal was $100 or whatever, $60 goes back into that account to build the bankroll, right? $20 goes into your expenses, $20 goes into your excess. That's how I do it. My accounts are split that way, 60, 20, 20. So I've always got money going into the earnings account, or replacing the original, building it up by 60%. The rest of it goes into a split between my expenses and my fund money, right? My buy shit with it, right? That excess account could be used to buy a new camera. It could be used to, buy a nice dinner. It could be used to just go to the casino and try the Philly special 5 times, whatever I want to, right? That's how I split it. Split yours however you want to, right? You can put half into the main account and split half the other way. You can put 90% of your win back into the account and grow the bankroll, and put a teeny tiny bit into the fund money and expense account. You decide, it's your money, right? I'm just giving you kind of an example of how you could split your day's pay from the casino. When you win, what do you do with your money? I think you got to do smart things with your money. Otherwise, there's the bleed. The bleed happens when you're not making good decisions. I think this is how you make good decisions. So that's that piece of it. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about really is managing that 401g account. And you got to be in touch with your play purpose. Are you there for a regular paycheck? Are you a regular player? Or are you there for disposable income? Are you just a recreational player? Like once every 6 months, I'm going to empty that whole freaking account and I'm going to go burn it, light it on fire. Are you that guy that's going to just, burn it up on fire? Fine, that's cool. Have a separate account for it. But what I basically do is I like to decide on what's my base session amount. And as you saw, it's $500. My normal buy-in, $500 to $1,000, depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing. I know that's what it is, right? That's my comfort zone, is $500 or $1,000, either way. Now, the bankroll that you need to have should be 5 or 10 times that, depending on, again, the level of risk you want to incur. I'm going to show you some examples here in a minute, but your base session amount times 5 or 10, that should be what's in your G account. Don't go to the casino with $500 to me, unless you got $2,500 in the bank. At minimum, I'd rather have 5K. I'd rather have 10 times it, right? And do 1/10 of it. Don't show up without backing bankroll. If you're going to do this as a regular thing, you got to have backing bankroll to support your habit. That's very, very important, okay? If I'm traveling, by the way, the travel bankroll I view as a subset of the master bankroll. So if I have, let's say I've got 10,000 in the master bankroll and I'm bringing 5,000 with me on a trip, I look at that $5,000 as the bankroll. So my sessions are 10% of that. It's $500 per buy-in, okay? If I have $10,000 and I'm staying home, my buy-in is 10%. It's 1,000. You follow me? So your buy-ins at your tables are about 10% of what your master bankroll is. And I look at what I bring with me to Vegas or to Biloxi or to wherever. That is my master bankroll for that period of time. And I work at 10% off of that. That's the way that I do that. I think it's important to see your bankroll in smaller chunks and how you're going to use them. And I level up when I have a new session, when I get a new session earned. So for example, if I have 10,000 in my master and I earn another $1,000, there's 11,000 in the master. Now my buy-in is 1,100. You follow me? I just go up the increment, but I don't go up immediately. I wait for a whole extra bankroll, a whole extra buy-in before I start increasing my levels. So I go to 1,100 when I get to 11,000. And I go to 1,200 when I get to 12,000. So I make sure that I keep adding additional full buy-ins before I start increasing the money. That's an important thing too. Otherwise, you get way out over your skis and you're going to have a big, big problem. So there's that piece of it. Now, here's an example, okay? If you're a $500 buy-in player, and we'll use me as an example, that's normally what I'm doing, right? If you want to play it with a 20% risk factor, I'm willing to put 20% of that bankroll at risk, right? I have $2,500 in the bank. I'm bringing $500 or 20% of that money to the casino, okay? I will level it up and I'll start buying in for $600 when I have $3K in the bank, when I've earned enough money to have $3,000. So every 500 is another bullet in the gun, so to speak. I give myself an extra small bullet. When I get to 700, when I have 3,500 in the bank, right? When I get the extra bullet, that's when I go ahead and increase my level. That's how I work that. If I'm more of the mind to be a 10% risk player, which is normally what I am, I want 5K in the bank, pull out $500. I don't go to 600 until I'm at 5,500. I don't go to 700 until I'm at 6,000, right? Every new bankroll, every new buy-in level increases my number. That's how I build my levels. And you build levels, you make your wins and your goals more significant. So buying it at 500, you're looking to win 50, $60. You're looking to win 10, 15%. Buying in for 1,000 gives you more buying power, more green chips versus red chips kind of thing. So you got to be, I think, leveled up as we do it. When you watch me do my Bankroll Builder series, that's what you're going to watch me do. I'm buying in for 1,000, so I'm betting mostly green chips. Those will become $35 bets and $40 bets and $50 bets as the buy-in level grows, but that won't grow until the master bankroll grows to the point where I think it can support an extra level of buy-in. That's such an important thing, I think, for us to remember. So as we go through this. And I guess the same thing here. If you're a $1,000 player, it's the same thing. 20% risk, you need 5K. You don't go up to $1,200 or $1,400 until you earn another full buy-in. So if your buy-in's 1,000, you don't increase your buy-in until you've earned an extra $1,000. Then you can go, okay, now I'll buy in for $1,200. 10% risk, it's the same thing. 10 sessions, $10,000 in the bank. You don't go up to $1,100 until you've earned an extra full buy-in, an extra $1,000. That's how you've got to make that work. You don't get to play with $5,000 until you got 50K in the bank or 25K in the bank. You just don't get to do it. Doesn't matter how powerful you think that bankroll is, always working on a percentage basis. I think that's the most important thing that I can tell you about managing that account and keeping your session, your buy-ins and your money movement proper. That will help you. It'll take a long time. You'll see it's going to take me a year. If this series I'm working on works, it's going to take us a full year to build from 10,000 to 100,000 because I'm going to do it this way. I'm not going to go to a $1,200 buy-in until I'm at 12,000 in the bank. It's going to take me a long time to get bigger bets out there, but this is the safest way to do it. This is the way to do this, how you build it up. So that's the reason why I'm showing it to you over the course of a year of that series. And I think it's going to kind of nail in some of these theories here. So how do you handle your losses? Well, it depends on who you are. If you're a paycheck player, right, you keep going, right? If I 10,000 in the bank and I lose $1,000, that sucks. It doesn't mean that the next 10 sessions I got to put it back in the bank to build it up. You keep on doing it. You keep on earning your paycheck. You keep on filling your earnings account, your expenses account, and your fund money account. Every dollar of excess above and beyond, that's what refills the bank. If you want to stop putting money into the fund money account or your excess account and put all that excess back in immediately, cool. You can build it up quicker. But you're playing a long game. You're playing a longer form game when you're managing a 401g account over many, many sessions. If you're a recreational player, you fund your account externally. Like I said, you pick up extra shifts. You want to go drive an Uber or drive for Uber Eats on the weekends and make an extra $250, $300 on a weekend and put that in your gambling account, man, freaking tastic. That's smart. That's smart. Do something to fund it. That's cool. If you're a recreational player, do that. If you got excess money, you got a bonus at work, put an extra $1,000 or $2,000 in there. That's the way you do that. And then you bang it out with your play. If you go to the casino and you're a recreational guy and you go Philly special and you make $3K on Corey's roll, or you make $3K or $5K when Adam's rolling, cool. Put that back in the G account. Fund that bad boy up with that. That's what I would recommend that you do there. But handle your losses smartly. Again, if you're paycheck playing, you can't focus on replenishing. You got to stick with the plan and let your excess wins be what puts it back in there, and it will go back in. It'll go back in. You look at Ken. Ken went 41 and 1 or something like that. Over the course of the 41 wins that he won, he had some excess money, which he used completely to refund and replace the account. At one point, he went and re-enveloped the whole thing. So that is a smart way, I think, to kind of manage your losses. Is if you're a regular player, let your excess funds do it over time. If you're a recreational player, just jack it in there as you get a chance to. Like save up for the fun days, right? And I think I want to close probably with this thought here, which is playing goal-oriented. And I think it's important that we do this. If you're, and this again, I'm talking to the regular players, all you guys who are regular players, not I go once every quarter and try and hit a home run. If you're a regular player, what's a reasonable goal? What's a reasonable goal, and how do you want to get to your goal? This is the most important thing of the day right here. When you're playing at the table, you got to make a decision on how do I get to my reasonable goal. If your reasonable goal is whatever it is, if it's 10%, put it in dollars, right? 10% of, when I was trying to win $500 out of the 5,000, okay, look to win $500. How can I win that money? Right now, I'm looking to win $100 a day up in the garage. How can I win $100? I can, one hit. I can go 640 across, take one hit, win my $100, and I'm out, right? I can put a huge chunk of my bankroll out there at risk for a very short amount of time and do like a 1 or 2 hit type of thing. I could do what I decided to do is take 4 hits at a quarter. We'll spread our bankroll out. We'll take 4 hits at a quarter to make our goal. If you're nervous, you could go 10 $10 hits and play a more conservative, like lower risk strategy, but you got to win a lot more often to make it happen, which is, again, time could be your enemy. Or you can go 20 hits for $5. You got to decide what is your appetite for risk in the moment of play. We've talked about this a lot. Like some of these strategies we run are, whoa, that's crazy. But honestly, if I do a 130 across Philly special and I'm buying in for $1,000, it's really, what is that about? That's about 16% of my bankroll every player. It's an acceptable risk level. We're playing with greens, 4 hits and you can be done, and you can get a few times out of it. You got to make that call for yourself, right? What level of chip do I need to win to get to my goal? And how many of those do I want to incur, right? The bigger the chip or the less number of times you have to win, the bigger risk you're putting your bankroll at. So like 330 inside, for example, you can get it in one shot, but you only get 3 cracks at it because you're putting a third of your bankroll out there at $1,000. So I think you got to think about that piece of it. So anyway, I've got spreadsheets that I can share with you that kind of speak to some of the stuff. Let me show it to you really quick, just so you can see what they look like. I can share them with you, or you can copy them. But here we go. Let me go switch over here again. And here's a good look at like an estimator. Let's say I want to win, let's say $500. Okay, I want to play once a week, or for 1 week I want to play 5 sessions. I want to play 5 times in 1 week. My win goal for the week is 500. My win goal per day is 100. Okay, and here it breaks it down. If I want to do like a 3-unit play, I got to bring $500. I got to bring 25 hours. I got to win 3 units to get there, right? If I want to go and win it by unit size, I could do one $100 unit. And as you change this, say, I want to win $1,000. I want to win $1,000, right? And I want to go once a week. We're going to play 5 times a week, or 1 week, 5 times a week. I need to win $200. Now it changes everything for me, right? It changes all my stuff. Now my unit size is $75. I got to win 3 $75 units, $225. That's $1,000. And this is giving me kind of like play levels that I want to be at. When I'm looking at how much money do I want to win, how much am I willing to bet per bet, here's where we are. This gives you all the answers that you need. Okay, there's your 30%, there's your 10%. So there's a good little way to look at it. And yeah, I can share this. This spreadsheet's got all sorts of stuff. It's got the logs in it. It's got a trip planner in it. It's got all sorts of really cool little worksheets in here for you to kind of project how much money you need to get out and play, what your bet sizing ought to be. You know, if your master bankroll is $1,000, you should be buying in for $100, looking to win $10. Like it's giving you, and you can again change your win goals and loss limits here to reflect your personal reality, and this will change. So my win goal is 25%, and I'm willing to lose 50%. It changes all the numbers, right? If I have $1,000, I buy in for 100. I need to win 25 bucks. I'm willing to lose 50. It gives you everything you need here to kind of work through it. So this is your worksheets. If you want them, I will share this link and make it a thing that you all can make a copy of on your own and sort of download and play as you will. So there it is. There is my spiel on money. I haven't done a money talk with you in a while, and I know that you want me to go roll dice. So it's time to go roll some dice. But let me